Hello, for my FBLA project, I had to make a quiz that surrounds any FBLA questions. I accomplished this in 3 files: my main file, my database file, and my quiz maker. Starting off with our database file, it stores all our questions and answers along with their following types: 1 through 19 being multiple choice, 20 through 29 being true and false, 30 through 39 being Dropbox, and 40 through 50 being short answer. And along with our array list of Dropbox for being our possible answers for our string. I misspoke. Along with our following answers for our Dropbox questions. Starting off with main, you'll notice we have 3 imports, along with our JFrame and IMListener. These are used to make our Dropbox visible to the user so he or she can choose the answer. Starting off our program, we initialize our scanner so we can take user input, and we get our data along with our quiz, which will use our data we use in our database. In the quiz maker, we start off with a while loop that'll bring us to 5, which basically means that out of 5 questions, out of 50 questions, we're only going to take 5. This chunk right here basically allows us to be sure we don't have the same question twice in a row. As for a random number, which will randomly choose our questions. If it's between 1 and 19, or 0 and 19 rather, it will be multiple choice. Between 20 and 30, true and false. 30 and 40, Dropbox, and the rest for a short answer. Now, for find pop, this will basically allow us to find any populated value we have for our Dropbox, which is inside Q&A database down here. Now, moving on to main, let me scroll up again. Our main, we initiate our quiz we call a while loop to initiate our quiz through 5 questions. If the current question is a Dropbox question, we'll make our Dropbox using our frame. Then the user will input their answer using a GUI, which will trigger this, which will destroy the box and have our item, or our chosen answer, which will be seen in number 2 down here. Now, if it's not a Dropbox, it'll just print question normally. Now, for our input, we take our selected item from a Dropbox if it's a Dropbox, or we get user input if it's any other question. Now we test if it's valid using format checker. Format checker will basically check through all the questions and be sure it's saying, oh, if it's multiple choice, are we using A, B, C, or D? Or if it's true or false, we say true or false. Now moving on, we see if our questions are actually correct using check answer. Now check answer will basically set our current input to the answer of our current question. Say, is it exactly the same? If it is, we get a point, which goes to our down here, which will go to our points. And if not, we don't get a point, and the loop continues. After the quiz is finished, we get our grade out of 5 using result grade, which will give us our score in a percent form. Now for our demonstration down here. So our first one, we had a couple questions, so it was most of these were short answer. So I purposely did a false input to make this print invalid format to print out our correct way of printing it. So I did it again, and then finished the quiz, and since none of them are correct, we got a 0%. Now to demonstrate our Dropbox, if it'll appear in this iteration. Sometimes it takes a little time to load because of the frame. So, true. Use the founder. Does it take 6? Oh yes. So here it will be $6, and it automatically destroys.